Welcome to MyLITV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we've traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. MyLITV starts now.
Mike Massimino is one of our very own from right here on Long Island and has definitely traveled farther away from home than any of us. Please join me as we celebrate the launch of Spaceman and welcome astronaut, engineer, and now author, Mike Massimino.
Mrs. Q. My Frank LaFossa. It's just like a reunion. I went to John Street Elementary School, and then 7th grade I started Cary, junior and senior high school combined. But I wasn't thinking astronaut. The astronaut thing I thought about as a little guy. I was 6 years old when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, and that really caught my attention. But it kind of went away. It just seemed like, how the heck are you going to do that? On March 1, 2002, I left Earth for the first time. I got on board the Space Shuttle Columbia, a day I'd been dreaming about since I was 7 years old. The one thing that I did have in my favor at that time was they were gearing up to build the International Space Station at that point. My year, when I got selected in 1996, we had a very large class, 35. The 7 of us stood there, craning our necks, looking up at this gigantic spaceship towering 17 stories high above the mobile launcher platform. I could feel the power of this thing. It looked like a beast waiting there for us. The realization of what we were about to do was starting to dawn on me. The book starts with a prologue of what it's like for me to launch and go to space. So you can get, right off the bat, you get a chance to see what it's like to go through a space launch. And the engine's cut, and the whole thing is over as abruptly as it began. And it's dead quiet. All you hear are the cooling fans from some of the equipment gently whirring in the background. Everything around you is eerily, perfectly still. You're in space. What I wanted to do was tell from the perspective of, make it very personal, tell from the perspective of someone that never expected to be an astronaut. And that what I've been able to experience, what I've been able to do as an astronaut and some of the other things, because I was selected by NASA to do this, what I think is the greatest job ever created. And I took off my right glove and I floated there just like Tom Hanks did in the movie. And then I took off my left glove and I floated that there just like Tom Hanks did in the movie. And then I turned and I couldn't find the right glove anymore because it was falling away.
The way he presented himself tonight is the way he's been all his life. He has not changed. He's a good speaker. He has a good sense of humor. To repair one instrument, I had to remove over, I had 111 screws, small screws, and some other, it was 117 screws that had to come out of this one instrument to get access to it. And any one of those could have caused a real problem, like forever having in every Hubble image a screw.
I always like to find out how they felt when they were actually there, and then he actually said a lot of neat stuff that I wanted to hear.
Up to that point, I'd been too excited and too busy training to let myself get scared. But out there at the launch pad, it hit me. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But at that point, there was no turning back. And the guy in the bus had already left.
I loved hearing him talk about how even somebody with 6 years of training and a lifetime of preparation got so nervous right before going up into space. And so that's good for all kids to hear and learn and understand.
One of the things I realized that astronauts could do is that they really can inspire and encourage people. I talk about meeting an astronaut named Charlie Duke, one of the 12 men that walked on the moon. My third year at being at MIT, and I just failed a qualifying exam for my doctorate, and I was feeling low. When he asked me what I did, and I told him I went to MIT, he said, "Man, that place was tough. I almost didn't make it through, but I hung in there and I did." Just hearing that from him made me realize that it all doesn't come easy. If you want to do something worthwhile with your life, it's not going to be handed to you. It's going to require a lot of work. I went back and got it done.